Welcome dear student. Today we will see how to determine monolayer capacity and specific surface area of activated charcoal by adsorption method. So aim of today's practical to determine monolayer capacity and specific surface area of activated charcoal by adsorption method. Then requirements, first apparatus, reagent bottles, then beakers, burette, pipette, then burette stand, conical flask, and constant temperature bath. Then chemicals required to conduct this experiment, that is distilled water, activated charcoal, 0.5 normal acetic acid and 0.1 normal NaOH, and phenolphthalein indicator. Now adsorption is a surface phenomena. It is defined as a process in which adsorbate gets adhered to surface of adsorbent, and adsorbate is a substance adsorbed on a surface of adsorbent, and adsorbent is a substance on which adsorbate gets adsorbed. So these are the molecules of adsorbate, and this is a surface of your adsorbent on which these adsorbate molecules are adsorbed. Then in adsorption process, rate of adsorption is high at the initial stage, but as surface area of adsorbent get covered with adsorbate molecule, the rate of removal of adsorbent molecule goes on increasing. When rate of adsorption is equal to rate of desorption means removal of that adsorbate from the surface of adsorbent. So when this adsorption is equal to rate of desorption, then it is called as adsorption equilibrium. And the degree of adsorption depend on chemical nature of adsorbate and adsorbent, then surface area of adsorbent, and partial pressure and temperature. For example, adsorption of acetic acid on the surface of activated charcoal. When activated charcoal is added to the solution of acetic acid, a concentration of acid decreases due to adsorption. Then monolayer capacity. Monolayer capacity for chemisorption is the amount of adsorbate which is needed to occupy all adsorption sites as determined by structure of the adsorbent and by the chemical nature of adsorptive. Then for the physiosorption, the amount needed to cover surface with complete monolayer of atom or molecule in a close packed array, the kind of close packing having to be stated explicitly when necessary. This is molecule of your adsorbent, and on this adsorbent molecule adsorbate get slowly adsorbed. So likewise molecules of your adsorbate get adsorbed on a surface of adsorbent and occupy all surface of this adsorbent molecule, and formation of monolayer on a surface of your adsorbent. So likewise molecules adsorbed on this adsorbent, and there is a completion of monolayers. Monolayers means single layer is formed on a surface of your adsorbent. So this bigger molecule is of your adsorbent and this small molecules of adsorbate. Now here monolayer capacity is over for these adsorbent. Then factors affecting on adsorption, that is surface area of adsorbent, then nature of adsorbate, heat of adsorption, temperature, process characteristics, pressure, thickness of adsorbed layer, and pH of medium. So these are the factors which are affecting adsorption process. Then application of this adsorption, it is useful in deodorization, then decolorization, then also used in a catalytic reaction, in a treatment of food poisoning, then into chromatography. Now we'll see actual procedure how to perform this experiment. So first of all, you have to prepare 0.5 normal acetic acid and determine its exact normality by titrating it against 0.1 normal NaOH using phenolphthalein as an indicator. Then you have to prepare following bottles, which each bottle is having a different composition of acetic acid and water. So ultimately its normality will be different. So here I have prepared 5 bottles A, B, C, D and E, and in each bottle different concentration of acetic acid is there. In first bottle it is 50 ml, in second bottle 40 ml and 10 ml distilled water. Then in bottle C 30 ml acetic acid and 20 ml distilled water. Into bottle D 20 ml acetic acid and 30 ml distilled water, and in bottle E 10 ml acetic acid and 40 ml distilled water. So each bottle will give us a different normality because amount of this acetic acid is different in each bottle. Okay, then what you have to do next process, then you have to add 1 gram of activated charcoal to each of these 5 reagent bottle. Then you have to keep them in a constant temperature bath for 1 hour to attain adsorption equilibrium. Then shake this bottle occasionally during this heating condition. Then using dry glassware, filter all mixtures separately. You have to filter mixtures present into the each bottle into the dry glassware. Then each filtrate you have to titrate. You have to take 10 ml from each filtrate and titrate it against 0.1 normal NaOH using phenolphthalein as an indicator. Then endpoint will be light pink color of your solution. Then you have to determine normality of your solution. Normality of solution after adsorption. Solution that is acetic acid after adsorption on a surface of 1 gram of charcoal. Now we'll see actual demonstration of practical.
Now we'll see how to determine monomer capacity and surface area of charcoal, activated charcoal by adsorption method. So for this, first of all, I have prepared 0.5 normal acetic acid, and by titrating it against 0.1 normal NaOH, I will confirm that whether it is exactly 0.5 or not. So for this, I am taking 10 ml of this acetic acid. So take a 10 ml of this acetic acid into conical flask. Then add phenolphthalein indicator. And determine the exact normality of this prepared solution. Now I am titrating it against 0.1 normal NaOH. By using N1V1 is equal to N2V2 equation, we can calculate normality, exact normality of this prepared solution of acetic acid. Now this colorless solution is converted into the pink color. Then you have to note down this bullet reading and calculate exact normality of acetic acid. In the second stage, what we have to do? Here I have taken 5 bottles and label it as A, B, C, D and E. So you have to prepare this different concentration of acetic acid by diluting it with the distilled water. So in bottle A, I take 50 ml acetic acid only. In bottle B, I am going to take 10 ml distilled water, 40 ml acetic acid. Then bottle C, 20 ml distilled water, 30 ml acetic acid. Then bottle D, 30 ml distilled water, 20 ml acetic acid. And for bottle E, 40 ml distilled water and 10 ml acetic acid. Adding these quantities into this reagent bottle. So in first bottle, only 50 ml acetic acid is required to add. No need to add distilled water. So quantities are high, so we can use also this measuring cylinder. Already I have added 10 ml, now I am adding 40 ml. So in bottle B, add 40 ml acetic acid. Bottle C, 30 ml. Into bottle D, 20 ml acetic acid. I am adding, and into bottle E, I am adding 10 ml. So here I have taken distilled water. In first bottle, no need to add distilled water. In second bottle, 10 ml distilled water I am adding. Then into bottle C, 20 ml. Then into bottle D, 30 ml. And bottle E, 40 ml. Then in each bottle, I am adding 1 gram activated charcoal. So in bottle A, I have taken this 1 gram of activated charcoal and I am adding into this bottle A. So likewise, I will add 1 gram of charcoal in each bottle. Now here in each bottle I have added 1 gram activated charcoal. Now I will shake it properly and I will keep this bottle into the water bath or on a heating mantle for maintaining constant temperature. So I will transfer this bottle into heating mantle. Likewise, you have to put all these bottles A, B, C, D, E on a heating mantle at a constant temperature. You have to keep temperature of each heating mantle constant. Here I kept a temperature 50 degrees centigrade of each heating mantle. Now you have to heat or you have to maintain constant temperature of all these bottle, and in between you have to shake this bottle well. So there will be the proper distribution of charcoal in your solvent or solution. Then how to prepare this activated charcoal? Now what you have to do, you have to take this activated charcoal and put this activated charcoal into hot air oven at a 60 degree centigrade for 1 hour. Then it is converted into the activated form. All gases absorbed on the surface of this charcoal get removed or get evaporated from the surface, and it is converted into the activated form of charcoal. Now I have completed 1 hour, so I am removing this bottle from the heating metal. So this bottle I'll cool at a room temperature and then filter this solution, and then I'll titrate it. Now here I have cooled all this bottle. Then you have to take 5 beakers, label these beakers as A, B, C, D and E. Then filter the content from bottle A. Your beaker should be labeled so there is no confusion which filtrate is from which bottle. Now I am filtering this second filter. Now I am changing this filter paper. Likewise, I will filter with C, D and E. I will keep it aside. Then I will take beaker C. Then similarly, I am filtering this bottle E content. Now after completion of filtration process, what we have to do, we have to withdraw 10 ml of this filtrate from each beaker and titrate it against the 0.1 normal NaOH. Now I am taking 10 ml from this beaker A. Then I am adding phenolphthalein. Now it is colorless solution and I am titrating it against NaOH. So we are titrating acid against alkali. So endpoint will be conversion of this solvent into the light pink color from colorless solution. If you observe this conical flask, it is converted into the light pink color. Then note down burette reading. Same procedure you have to follow for the B, C, D and E filtrate and note down burette readings.
Now we'll see observation and calculation part. So first, temperature of water bath, that was 60 degrees centigrade. Then mass of activated charcoal added into the reagent bottle, so this was 1 gram. Then exact normality of acetic acid Na, that is 0.49. Then by using N1V1 is equal to N2V2 equation, we can calculate exact normality of prepared acetic acid, and this is observed or calculated exact normality of prepared 0.5 normal acetic acid. So N1 value is 0.49 normal. Then N1 is a initial normality of acetic acid in a gram equivalent per liter. Then N2 is a equilibrium normality in gram equivalent per liter, and N1 minus N2 will give us gram equivalent of acetic acid adsorbed per liter of your solution. Then we'll calculate normality of acetic acid into the different bottle. Now in first bottle, by using same formula, that is N1V1 is equal to N2V2. So this N1V1 values of your NaOH and N2V2 values of your acetic acid. Then V1, that is N1, that is normality of your NaOH, that is 0.1 normal. Then V1 is burette reading. Then N2 is normality of acetic acid, and V2 is amount of acetic acid taken to titrate against the 0.1 normal NaOH. So we have taken 10 ml, that's why V2 value become 10. And then after calculating this, observed normality of acetic acid in bottle A solution was found to be 0.36 normal. Then similarly we can calculate normality of this acetic acid by using this N1V1 is equal to N2V2 equation into the bottle B. So this time burette reading is 28. So by putting this value into this equation, we'll get we observed value of this bottle normality of acetic acid into the bottle B, and this was 0.28 normal. Then a normality of acetic acid into the bottle C. So here observed value of normality is 0.17 normal. Similarly, you can calculate for the bottle D and observed value is 0.078 normal. Then for bottle E, it is 0.024 normal. Then you have to put these values of N2 into the observation table. So this is normality before titration, before adsorption, and this is a normality of acetic acid after adsorption on a surface of charcoal. Now you have to add these columns. C is equal to 3N2, then W is equal to 3N1 minus N2, then W by M, and C upon W by M. Then these are calculated values for the different formulas. Then we require to plot a graph. Okay, which graph we require to plot? That is C divided by W by M, means this last column versus this column. So we require to plot a graph C W by M versus C, that is N2 value. So when I plot this graph, this is a view for your graph, and my equation is y is equal to 7.6272x. This is plus 0.1648. So where this 7.6272, this is a value of your slope. Then formula for the determination of monolayer capacity is equal to 1 upon slope. Now we know slope is 7.627. So monolayer capacity of activated charcoal is 0.1311. Then calculation of specific surface area of charcoal. This is calculated by using formula S, that is the surface area of charcoal is equal to W mono, that is monolayer capacity, divided by M into N into A. Now where this S is specific surface area, V mono, that is monolayer capacity of charcoal, and Avogadro's number, the 6.0221 into 10 raised to 23 mole per 23 per mole. Then A is cross sectional area of acetic acid molecule, that is 18 into 10 raised to minus 16 meter square. Then M is molecular weight of acetic acid, and it is 60 gram per mole. So by putting all these values into this formula, that is W monolayer capacity divided by M into N into A, then final answer will be 2.3 into 10 raised to 6. So monolayer capacity we have calculated, and second one is surface area of charcoal, and it is 2.3 into 10 raised to 6 meter square per gram. The monolayer capacity of activated charcoal is 0.1311, and specific surface area is 2.3 into 10 raised to 6 meter square per gram. Then we'll see question bank, which will be asked for the synopsis. First question, what is adsorption? Adsorption is a phenomena in which molecules of substance are attracted and adhere to the surface of a solid or a liquid, and adsorption is a surface phenomena. Adsorption is exothermic reaction. Released heat is called heat of adsorption. Then second question, what is absorption? When substance is uniformly distributed throughout the bulk of another substance. This shows that absorption has taken place. It occurs at a uniform rate throughout the body of the material. Then third question, what is physiosorption? So physiosorption is related with the weak van der Waals forces which are exist in between adsorbent and adsorbate. Example, charcoal adsorbed gases, then charcoal adsorbed acetic acid, then silica gel adsorbed moisture. So these are the example of physiosorption. Then what is chemisorption? Chemical adsorption in a is a, consists of chemical forces will that exist between adsorbate and adsorbent, and these forces may be ionic or covalent. Example, adsorption of hydrogen gas, nitrogen gas, then oxygen gas on a nickel or a platinum metal. Then next question, give the mathematical equation relating the pressure and extent of adsorption of gas on a metal. When adsorption isotherm will explain a variation magnitude of adsorption with pressure at a given temperature. These are obtained by plotting a graph magnitude of adsorption versus pressure. So x by m is nothing but your magnitude of adsorption versus pressure. You have to plot a graph. Then as shown below, rate of adsorption increases with increase in a pressure after reaching a limiting value. This is your limiting value. Rate of adsorption remain constant, and that pressure is called as equilibrium pressure. At that stage, rate of adsorption and rate of desorptions are same. Then equation for the mathematical relationship between adsorption and pressure, that is x by m is equal to k into p raised to 1 by n. Then next question, what is monolayer capacity? So monolayer capacity for chemisorption, the amount of adsorbate which is needed to occupy all adsorption sites as determined by structure of the adsorbent and by the chemical nature of the absorptive. Then monolar capacity in physiosorption is the amount needed to cover a surface with complete monolayer of atoms or molecules in a close packed array, and a kind of close packing having to be stated explicitly when necessary. Thank you.